Hey everybody, guess what? New tool day. So today in the shop, I got an awesome new tool to show and share. I have behind me the Makera Carvera Air desktop CNC machine. This is a small footprint CNC machine that can sit on your desktop that's highly versatile. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and unbox, unpack it, assemble, review, and then actually test this out on some really cool guitar-related CNC projects. Let's get to it. I love how everything comes super compartmentalized. So we have the laser module, the 4th axis, toolkits, materials, accessories. We have the desktop CNC machine guide, which has examples that we can use with the actual materials. We have the actual instruction manual, and then we have the spoil board and a couple of other cool little things here. I haven't set this up yet, but it looks so cool. It's so futuristic. It's the most futuristic tool that I have in my shop. This whole enclosure is like steel or metal. It's so flippin' heavy. And this really cool lid, it reminds me of like a Lamborghini or something. I just love the way it opens and closes. All right, the first thing we need to do is plug it in. So let's look for the power cable. This is the phone pad holder. So you can run this off a tablet or a mobile phone. So we'll be putting that on. Here's our power cable. That's what we need. While we're here, looks like we have some collets. Oh yeah, the emergency stop button will install this. That's why this machine is so great for beginners. I wish my first CNC had one of these when I was first starting off. I could have totally used it. Spare tool bits. Oh my goodness. You kidding me? There's 10 of these? What? This CNC comes with 10 of these? Interesting. Wow. I'm just so impressed that it came with so many extra bits, or that it came with end mills at all. That's just incredible. Let's open up the toolkits. Nice. Pretty cool. Looks like we have screwdriver. Looks like there's some M5 screws, 4mm dowel pins. There are some L brackets. And we have the bit collar installer here. And looks like there's all these top clamps. And then we have end mills. And these are end mills in addition to the spares we opened up earlier. So right out of the box, you get absolutely everything you need to get started. So this is perfect for someone getting started with CNC. This is the box of materials. All right, so this is an LED light assembly kit. It's like we have some PCBs, single-sided PCBs, aluminum plate. Wow, that is pretty thick. Epoxy tooling board, mini handsaw, small sand block, big sand block, double-sided tape, waste board. We have some ABS plastic, and then it looks like 2 sheets of acrylic plate. Lots of materials to get started, and at least get the machine up and running, and or practice with your milling if you've never done it before. I want to go over the specs. I know specs are kind of boring, but that's where this machine really shines in its impressive list of specs. So let's go through them real quick. One of the best features that I love about this machine is the quick tool changer. So on my big machine, I have to use a wrench to essentially untighten the collet to actually install a bit. But look how quick and easy it is to change a bit. You pull down the handle, you slide your bit in, and you lift up, done, you're finished. The next cool feature is auto probing. This is a new feature for me. I've never had a machine that has auto probing. What it does is it uses this probe, and it basically allows you to tell it how many times you want to probe the actual material to detect surface irregularities. And then basically it'll adjust your Z height when it's running the G code. That's incredible, especially for really high precision milling that's required for some of these metal parts. Now, I've already said this, I love the fact that it's self-enclosed. So all the debris is taken care of, right? So I have essentially a way to suck up all the actual chips and dust when I'm working with wood using the magnetic dust boot. It just goes on and off. Or what I can use is air assist right here, and I can adjust the actual pressure of the air assist to blow away chips when I'm working with metal. And it basically keeps the bit cool and it removes all the debris from the actual cut. I remember literally the first time I ever milled aluminum on my big machine, the chips flew everywhere. And they didn't just make a mess in my shop, I found chips in my beard. And when those hot chips hit your skin, you can feel it, it burns. So trying to manage the chip collection when milling aluminum on a big machine is really tough. I'm telling you, this enclosure makes a huge difference. The next feature is cross-platform controllers. This one truly optimizes my workflow. I can control over Wi-Fi my machine on my computer without any cables or my iPad. So this works across all platforms, all devices, all operating systems. That's incredible because not even my big machine does that. All right, so the first test project is running and it's running so smoothly. I just did my first tool change on this. It was so quick and it was so easy. I love it. But more importantly, listen to this. It's not loud at all. So for these kind of jobs that require really intricate details that need to go on for like an hour, that is totally doable in the shop. I can listen to music, I can think. This thing is not loud at all. So the details are very impressive, and I was also impressed with how fast it actually knocked this out. So now that we've run our first test, this was the test to make sure everything's working, because the next projects we do are all going to be metal. So we're going to be focusing a lot on brass and aluminum for these guitar parts we're going to be making. I just wanted to show you this real quick because it is really impressive. All right, let's take this protective layer off and do the reveal. Oh, I don't want to get my fingerprints on it. It's so lovely. Look at this brass. Why would you want to use any other material? Brass is where it's at. Look at that. Look at that finish. Now, the beautiful thing about brass is that it will patina. This is raw brass. It'll patina over time. The chamfer came out so beautiful. So obviously what I'm going to do is put this on a guitar. But I want to show you something first. I'm going to show you something really cool because this is brass and it's going to patina over time. I want to show you that. So one of the best things about brass is that you can do a lot with it. And one of my favorite things you can do is basically lacquer it so that the shine never goes away. And so to give you an example, I have a fountain pen here that is real brass, but it's lacquered. And so it'll never patina. And you can do something like that with these control plates. However, my favorite thing is raw brass, because raw brass will patina just from touching it with the oils in your fingers. And so this is one of the really cool things about guitar parts, because a lot of guys really do want their guitar parts to patina. And so over time with this brass, as you're touching it, it'll patina in those areas just from the oils in your finger. So let's go ahead and move on to the next project. And what we want to do now is work on a brass nut. So an essential material for guitar builders is bone. And we use bone for bone nuts. Now we also use brass for nuts, and we're gonna be actually milling both materials. But I wanna start with bone. And I got this beautiful vise on Amazon, and it just fits perfectly here in the Carvera Air. It's got great work holding capabilities, and this bone nut is not going anywhere. Absolutely amazing. That is a completed nut in under 6 minutes. I'm talking about the right thickness, the right height, the right dimensions. You can see the diameters of each string have already been modeled in CAD. So these are the exact diameters for a set of 10s. Check it out. We're going to be machining this next. This is brass bar stock. It's 3/8 inch thick. It's a heavy beast. I've always wanted to mill brass bar stock because I want to make guitar bridges and guitar saddles, and I need this to do it. Now, luckily, the Carvera Air is whisper quiet. I can machine this, close the enclosure, I can work at my bench, I can think, I can listen to music. So let's build a guitar nut out of this brass stock. I guess one of my favorite things is the work holding. The work holding is so cool because I can actually use this L bracket, and the machine already knows that that's the origin point. So all I have to do is butt my stock up against the L bracket, and my origin point's already set at the corner. But this machine is flippin' awesome and a joy to actually set up. So I basically just sanded it down through the grits and then hit it on the buffer really quickly. Trying really hard not to get my fingerprints on it. There it is. Brass nut on the Carvera Air. And really honestly, like, I would never build a nut any other way now. Like, doing it by hand is just crazy. The Carvera Air is basically my go-to now for any type of metal work. I'm gonna do all my metal work on the Carvera Air exclusively. Let's move on to the next project. All right, all the operations are complete for this aluminum Pickard. It was essentially just a handful of operations. The first one's a peck drilling operation for all the holes. Then it does a pocket for the single coil pickup. Then it does the contour, and then it just goes through chamfering. So chamfering the mounting holes and then chamfering the outer edge, excluding the pocket, the bridge, and the plate. Okay, so I installed the aluminum Pickard and the aluminum control plate. There it is. You get the idea, right? So you can make custom hardware for your guitar. I really like the way the slanted 11-degree switch came out. So keep in mind, all I did was make known things to show you what the Carvera Air could do. What the Carvera Air does really well is optimize your workflow. There are all these tiny little things that we have to do that add up in terms of time when you're on a traditional CNC machine. So having things like the quick access tool change, having things like the contained system or cleanup is a breeze, all those little tiny things add up. I think every luthier needs a CNC, but getting into CNC is not easy. The Makera Carvera Air makes it this much easier. One of the big fears of CNC is feeds and speeds. It was a fear that I had when I first got my CNC. But Makera has taken that fear out of the picture. So all the end mills that come with the Carvera Air also come with a profile for the feeds and speeds for multiple materials. That means I get to choose aluminum and it shows the best feeds and speeds. Or if I chose brass, it chose the best feeds and speeds. Same thing with hardwood, epoxy. It comes with all the profiles for those end mills. And in one weekend, unboxing to making all this stuff in aluminum, and then my beautiful brass control plates and my beautiful brass nut that I made. So final thoughts. This is a unique machine that is very modern, that provides you with very modern optimized workflows. It works really well with metal. And it basically removes all the fear of getting started with CNC because they provide you with feeds and speed profiles, because they provide you with all the materials you need to practice, including example guides. They give you everything you need to get started. You even get a set of end mills, so you don't have to think or worry about which end mills do I need, what feeds and speeds do I need. It handles everything for you. And it basically walks you through the process of tool changing. I can't recommend this enough. It's a great machine to get started with. I highly recommend it. There's gonna be a lot more content coming with the Carvera Air. We're gonna be doing a 4th axis video. So we're gonna be building brass knurled knobs. We're gonna be doing a PCB project. Yes, the Carvera Air can actually make electronic PCBs. I have PCB sheets here already. I just need to design a circuit. So a lot of cool content. We're gonna be using a laser on it. Lots of guitar related stuff we're gonna be doing. Acoustic bridges. We can do epoxy, acrylic. We can do metal. It's gonna be exciting. So stay tuned. More stuff with the CNC. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.